Today we're going to be learning about los números. So that's the first thing you're going to write in your cuadernos. Los números. Los números means numbers, okay? Los números, the numbers. Now, most of you probably know a few numbers in Spanish, right? Like most of you could probably do uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Okay, how far can you go? Impress me. Go ahead. Uno,
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
It starts to trickle out. Okay, so here's the problema though. Most of you don't know how to spell them. Okay, it's like, oh, I heard Dora say uno, dos, tres, you know, or whatever. Yeah, you remember that. But you're like, okay, how do I spell them? So that's what we're going to figure out. So, very first one, uno. And most of you have played the card game, so hopefully you know this one, but we're going to put it down. Uno is just like that, okay? Uno. And I'm going to actually be doing the numbers like they do in Spain and most of the Spanish-speaking countries, so they're going to actually look un poco diferente, a little bit different. All right, second one, dos. Dos. Got looks like this. And then tres. Okay, uno, dos, tres. Cuatro. Cuatro is one, usually uno, dos, and tres, people, no problema. That's easy. And then you come to cuatro, and everyone wants to spell it with a Q, and it's not. It's a C. Cuatro. Cuatro is with a C. So make sure that you're spelling that right. C-U-A-T-R-O, cuatro. And then cinco. Cinco's next. Just like that. Cinco's pretty easy. And then we come to seis. And seis is one where people start having problemas because they want to say, oh wait, is it I before E or E before I? All right? And in Spanish, they don't have the same rule that we have. Do you guys remember using that jingle when you were little?
Yeah.
I before E, except after C, right? Okay? Well, they don't have that in Espanol. So, it could be either way. It could be E before I, it could be I before E. You just have to memorize which one it is. So, seis is one where it's E before I. So, seis. And then siete, which comes right after it, is I before E. Okay? So this one has the I first. So you basically just have to remember, seis is E before I, siete is I before E. After that, we have ocho. And then nueve. Nueve is 9, and then 10. Okay? So these are the ones most people know. So let's go ahead and say these ones together. We'll take a pause. Ready? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10. And I heard about half of you. So I want everybody this time. Ready? Kind of loud. Let's get waking up here. Ready?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10.
Good. And you guys pronounced them well. So good job. All right. Now we're going to get into another set of numbers. And the reason I have these divided uno through cinco, seis through 10 is because of this. So you'll see here in just a minute. Ready? All right, so the way you say 11 is once. And then we have doce for 12. And doce, you can see, looks and sounds like dos, right? The D-O, and then you just got the say on the end. Same thing with trace. Trace is trece. Okay? Trece. Trace and trece. Dos, doce. Uno, once, a little different, but you get the idea. All right, and then this one actually is going to look a little bit different, but it's similar. 14. 14 is 14. 14, so it starts with a C again, but instead of that U, you just drop that. See how you do that? And then it's the AT, and then it gets kind of messy. But all right, and then cinco does not relate very well to how you say 15, which is 15. That's where you get your Q, okay? 15. So you don't have any Q's yet until you come to 15. So that Q you wanted to use for cuatro, you've got to save it. Just put it in your back pocket and then pull it out for 15. Okay? 15. All right. And then after 15, you start getting into los números diferentes, okay? So instead of following this format, and I would just call this the se format, because notice how they all end in se. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're going to stop doing that, and we're going to do something totally different. How you say 16 is 10 y 6. You're literally saying 10 plus 6. And what does 10 plus 6 equal? 16, okay? So you're literally saying 10 plus 6, 16. 10 and 6. And then the next one is the same format. 10 y 7. And then so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and fill the rest in. 10 y 8. 10 y 9. And then we come to 20. Oops, there's not a 0 on the end of that. Okay, and then we come to 20, which is just 20. Okay? 20. So make sure you've got all those written down. And then I'm going to show you a different way to write them too. All right? So we've got 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Now, you can also squish these words together into one word. That's more common in some Spanish-speaking countries than in others. But when you squish them all together, a couple things happen. 2, sometimes 3 things happen. The first thing that always happens is the Z turns to a C. Okay? So let me go ahead and squish this all together. And that turns to a C. The other thing is the E, or the Y, which is Y. The Y turns to an I, and then you put them all together. You squish it all together. 16. Now, I said there was 2, sometimes 3 things that happen. This one has that third thing that happens. That third thing is un acento. Un acento sometimes happens whenever you do that. Not always, but on 16 it does. So you've got to have an accent over the E. So let's do it for 17. All right, so let's squish them all together. Change the Z to a C, Y to an I, and add on the end. 17. Okay? And for the next one, 18. And the next one, 19. So, en tu opinión, ¿qué es más difícil? Which one's more difficult? To do it this way or to do it this way? What do you think, Carolina?
Second.
This way? Why?
Because you have to change the letters.
Because you've got to change the letters. You've got to remember to change the letters, okay? And is there an accento, sí or no? You have to remember that. I think it's more difícil to do it that way too. But some people like it better because it's all one word, okay? we've got to know how to say it both ways, because I'm not sure if you're going to be traveling to Spain or Peru or Bolivia or Mexico or where you're going to be traveling, but I expect all of you to be traveling to one of those places at some point and speaking Spanish and knowing how to write it, and so you've got to know both. All right? So that's how you do that. Any preguntas? Okay, you can do the same for 20, but we'll talk about that later. All right, we'll talk about that mañana. It can also get squished together. After 20, once you get to 30, which is 30, you stop squishing. All right, so you only squish for 10 and 20.